Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was sent in by the Goggo? Starts again. Hey guys, I'm JanetOnOccasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one was sent in by the Gobbo King himself, and it's a hell of a good battle. He's against Lotus Moon, and it's a pretty typical Empire versus Wood Elf army. You know, he's got the spears with the shields, so obviously that great missile resistance is really nice to have, and they're very cheap units, so a very good way to soak up missile fire. In the back, you can see he's got a load of these Empire Knights. He's got Knights of the Blazing Sun, which are very nice, really good charge. They're the fastest of the Empire's heavy cav, and fire damage is really handy in case there's a lot of tree kin and things like that. Also, the forest dragons are weak to fire as well, I believe, so it's very handy to have some Knights of the Blazing Sun. Very useful unit there, and a ton of armor and shields as well, which is very nice. Even more armor on the Empire Knights, though. Very cost effective here. Very cost effective indeed. So yeah, pretty typical build. Oh yeah, also Fire Wizard. Again, you're gonna want that, aren't you? So he's got Fireball for trying to snipe out lords and heroes. Basically, just keep spamming that. It's a very cheap way to keep hitting things, and Kindle Flame really helps as well. So every time he casts a spell, Kindle Flame will proc. Let's get to him, and boom! Plus 22% weakness to fire for all of your enemies, and that will actually help your Knights of the Blazing Sun do more damage. Also, there's Balthazar Gelt here, and Balthazar Gelt, pretty normal to have if you're going to have a spellcaster that's going to be spamming a spell. He's really good for this, because he also has Plague of Rust. Plague of Rust, lowering armor, fireballs will do way more damage. Arcane Conduit, and the Staff for Lands means tons of magic, just ludicrous amounts. He's never going to run out of the battle. And yeah, he's got the same on the other side, pretty much. So more Knights of the Blazing Sun, more Empire Knights, more Empire Knights, and a couple of Pistoliers to help deal with things like Wild Riders that tend to struggle a bit. They don't have a lot of armor, so these guys can be incredibly cost effective. So like I said, oh, and Sigmar's Sons, again, shields, and unbreakable, so they can really soak up even more fire. They're not going to go anywhere. So yeah, totally normal build. Oh wait, what's this? Yes, there's a steam tank. What the hell are you doing, man? Why is there a steam tank here? But he has a steam tank for some reason. Who does this? Yeah, Gobbo King does. Also, he has one more unit of spearmen. No shields here because they're not pushing in to stop any arrow fire. No, they're just going to hold the steam tank. You know, they're just going to keep in here, stop any wild rides from dealing with them, because you can't just use the normal spearmen because they're anti-large and the, you know, cheap, just no armor piercing, basically. They suck, but it doesn't really matter. They'll be a great buffer against wild riders that just don't have the armor to hold out against cheap spears like this. So it'll keep the steam tank safe, especially if he can shoot at things with his guns. And that gun of his is pretty damn accurate, and he can harass whatever he likes with it, which is kind of cool. And it will be very threatening if you can take out a lot of the scary things. Nothing is going to deal with that steam tank. It's unbreakable, it's going to keep the balance of power nice and high, which is going to keep everything else from routing, and fireballs are already coming in, so Glade Lord, this is the Glady, so Prey of Anathrema is here. So, yep, pausing things in place, super useful to be able to net things down. Spellsinger of Beasts with the Transformation of Kadon, I believe. Yes, Transformation of Kadon, so Summoning Manticores. Also, a Spellsinger of Life, so both big spellcasting air forces, which is pretty interesting. So 110 speed there, and the Pegasi both have 112 speed and 105, so that's pretty great. Slightly faster, nothing can catch them, which is amazing. So, Fireball doing some good damage to the Glade Lord. There are Sisters of the Thorn here. Sisters of the Thorn have great utility spells, and they are very good cavalry, just generally, but weak against just cheap fire, and the Pistoliers are perfect for that, so they can get whittled down very easily with only 15 armor. Here you can see Deepwood Scouts, Deepwood Scouts, Deepwood Scouts, and Way Watchers, so there is some very deadly armor piercing, but it's mostly just weight of fire here. Also, a ton of Eternal Guard, which would be great for fighting off all that expensive cavalry. So very, very cool stuff. Let's speed things up. Finally. So, things are charging in. So yeah, you can see Empire Knights, Prey of Anathrema on them, they'll get shut down very quickly. The other ones are pushing in, and they are getting focused down by the Glade Lord and the Spellsinger. That armor piercing from the dragon is going to hurt a lot. And the other Spellsinger's in here with the rear charge, summoning a Manticore to help out, and Archer Fire helping to kill the rest. So that means that both units are in a lot of trouble, but the Knights of the Blazing Sun are following them up, and they're still very healthy. And they can do some very good damage, that Spellsinger. Plague of Rust upgraded, putting it down to no armor at all, and Knights of the Blazing Sun have a hell of a charge bonus, and it's going to really hurt. See, half health already, another Fireball coming in for the dragon, and it looks like it's going to be another hit. That is another good hit. Very scary stuff there. But Spellsinger is managing to get out of there, and a lot of Archer Fire is coming in. So Knights of the Blazing Sun pulling in and then pulling out, realising they don't want to fight them. Empire Knights getting charged by the Wild Riders, but The Knights of the Blazing Sun are following up, and I believe there will be another unit of cavalry coming in. Yep, the other Knights of the Blazing Sun are moving up and around to sandwich these Wild Riders, shut them down completely, and you're going to have a harder time. You have a much harder time. You have to resort to sending things like the Glade Lord and the Spellsingers into conflicts to stop charges, and you can't really afford to do that. You really want the Wild Riders to be able to harass things. So they're in a lot of trouble, completely sandwiched. Empire Knights are gone, but that doesn't really matter, they've been terrified. Point blank fireball, and that Glade Lord is below half health. Very, very nice to see. And over here, Sister Thorn, they're throwing javelins at the Pistoliers, and the Pistoliers are shooting back. Pistoliers are so much cheaper than the Sister Thorn, this is super cost effective. Over here, Empire Knights still harassing the back line, Empire Knights over here harassing the back line, and it's becoming incredibly difficult for the Way Watchers to keep out of harm's way. This Goon Squad is coming in for them, and Manticores are running it everywhere, so one depletes as the other one is summoned. So over here, Spearmen are going to be able to bog down the Eternal Guard, which is nice. A lot of units are starting to fall back a bit though. I guess waiting for a bit more magic, trying to recoup. He's got rid of the Wild Riders, and it means the archers are going to have to push forward if they want to get some kills. So right in the back, you can see these Empire Knights are still probing the back lines, which is very handy. A lot of Spearmen being held in reserve. Archer fire coming in, doing a lot of damage to these Empire Knights, but while they're on the run, they are missing quite a few shots, and that will be wasting a lot of the ammunition from these guys. And they do still have a fair bit left. So, units starting to charge in again, Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Empire Knights. Spearmen running in too, and another fireball is coming in for, I believe for the Deepwood Scouts, but at this distance, it will actually rake across rather nicely. So, lose a few of them, and lands amongst the Way Watchers, so not a bad fireball. Against scattered units like that is often not a good idea, but every model you kill of expensive archers means less ammunition is going to get thrown at you, so it's incredibly good to kill models quickly. So over here, Pistoliers just getting completely melted, but the Sister Thorn finally getting out of there. They were suffering far too much damage from such cheap units. So, everything is just running in now. You can see Eternal Guard are charging in, but the Spearmen are blocking them slightly, which is incredibly good. Now, Plague of Rust for that minus 30 armor, so they're getting in a fight with a load of very decent cav here. But they are starting to pull out a bit. Fireball is coming in for the Glady, but yep, that's a hit. That's a hit. That is another hit. And these Deepwood Scouts are really damaged. These Deepwood Scouts really damaged. These Way Watchers now getting charged again because you can't afford to keep the Glady in this fight, and she's the only one that can really stop these units from really capitalizing. So it's very, very bad for her. With that Plague of Rust, it's just not worth her coming in. 20 armor is nothing. So very nicely played there. So here you can see Empire Knights are pulling back. Also, another thing, Shield of Thorns, very popular in this matchup, and Fireballs just ignore the Shield of Thorns because it's magic damage. So you're going to evade that. It's very, very nice. But over here, Sister Thorn running in, and they're doing very well here. They have managed to break the Knights of the Blazing Sun, and the other Knights of the Blazing Sun are really struggling too. Luckily, there is still one unit of Empire Knights that's coming in. Gelt is in a bit of a pickle, fighting the Spell Singers here, both Spell Singers, but he's kept them pinned down long enough to be able to get on top of them. And he knows that he's going to be able to escape, rally, and he can still be used as a battery. So it doesn't really matter too much, unless he's actually killed. Who cares? He can still generate magic for the Bright Wizard to get work done. So that is very nice. Another fireball coming in by the looks of it. Yep, another one coming in. Very nice. Ooh, is this one going to hit? Nope, that one's a miss. That one's a miss. I think that's the first miss. So Empire Knight's pulling back again. And you can see that the steam tank, he's just been sat around. He's been taking pot shots at the Glade Lord, as you can see, which is another reason why the Glade Lord can't stand still, and that's going to be forcing a lot of micro out of the Glade Lord. And if the Glade Lord can't just run into a fight and deal with things, and other units can't be microed, everything is going to lose cohesion, which means Lotus Moon is having to work a lot harder. So this is just classic Gobbo King. Keep forcing your opponent to micro, and stuff will get caught out, because there's no way you can watch every angle. So, another fireball coming in, Plague of Rust on the Spellsinger as well. Devastating, absolutely devastating hit there. Spellsinger Beast is now routed. Sadly though, the Empire Knights are struggling against the last Sister Thorn, and there is some more Archer Fire coming in, whittling them down. Over here you can see the Sigmar Sons. They've been fighting these Eternal Guard forever. I think they got rid of one unit and they're now fighting the second, so they are doing very well for themselves. They have been very, very useful. So, units are pushing out again, and the Steam Tank is now shooting into, I believe, the Sister Thorn to try and get rid of them. Here you can see the Glade Lord is coming in, and the thing is, the Glade Lord, ton of ammo left. So much ammunition left on this Glady, and she can be doing a ton of work to these, spellcasters, but Gobbo's keeping them out of the way. He is keeping them out of harm's way. Over here, Gelt is chasing off the Spellsinger of Beasts, which is very nice to do, very useful tool there, even if they've used all of their charges of Transformation of Kadon. It's very good for a rear charge, so you want to get rid of that. Another Fireball coming in, and this is a bit devastating for both players here. Prey of Anathema really making that Bright Wizard suffer, and the Glade Lord is charging in, but frankly, the Bright Wizard is more useful than Gelt right now. Most of the army is unbreakable at this point, so army losses aren't really going to be a problem, especially when Gelt is so cheap and has such a little amount of health. So here he comes in as bait. The dragon does peel off to try and get on top of him, and that just lets the Bright Wizard escape. If both of these guys were on that Bright Wizard would have been toast. But nope, Fireball is still in play, and there are no Prey of Anathemas left. So Gelt, with no health, coming in and actually saving the day there. So, another Fireball about to come in. Gelt, once again, running into the Spellsinger to keep her busy. And she's trying to fight back, but Gelt getting the charge off. He's got a charge bonus of 70, so he's not bad there. So, he did alright. And now, yeah, that's a dead dragon. Bright Wizard just came in for that final hit. Amazing. And now he's going to come for that final hit, the Spellsinger. He's also got a great charge bonus, I believe. Well, 30. It's not great. But not great melee defense on the Spellsinger, so who cares? So he's chasing her down, shatters, and that's army losses because the steam tank just terrified everything away. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, yeah, just textbook Gobbo. You know, bring something that makes absolutely no sense to bring, and somehow making sense of it. You know, that constant pressure, and on something that's unbreakable, super sturdy. You've got to use your armor-piercing missiles against it, but that's fewer armor-piercing missiles for the Empire Knights. And all this stuff is deadly and very scary and will deal with a ton of your with your ranged units, you know. None of these guys had shields. They were just going to get shot to pieces eventually, but there was enough stuff just to keep them at bay. So the Cav was able to get in there, do some work, and the constant threats of Plague of Rust and Fireballs just meant that none of the expensive units could commit to an engagement properly. They just couldn't do it. And with Kindle Flame active, the Knights of the Blazing Sun getting more value, and always it was the Empire Knights in the vanguard taking all the flak, being blocked if there was any, you know, units to block them. And it just meant the Knights of the Blazing Sun could come in and attack things while they were vulnerable and get mad value. Absolutely superb. Kind of ludicrous. Just classic Gobbo. What can I say? Classic Gobbo. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.